Welcome. This is Susan Lopresti, and you are listening to the Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. I am so grateful to have you here with me today, and I hope that my podcast is adding value to your health and well-being. My podcast is for midlife and mature women who are noticing changes in their body due to aging and are looking for simple and easy lifestyle changes that will give them positive results for better health and overall well-being. For me personally, I believe midlife has been the best years of my life so far. And luckily, I am in good health, but I want to be sure to be healthy and strong for many years to come so that I may enjoy these years to the fullest. And I know that there are many women who feel the same way. The problem is that some of these women think that getting healthy is very complicated and a huge commitment where your whole life will have to change. And this is so far from the truth. Getting healthy and staying fit is simple common sense, and you already know what you need to do intuitively, and I am here to remind you of that. My podcast episodes offer you those tools, and my health coaching programs offer you those tools as well. I want you to get to know me a little bit better and to hear one of the ways that I was able to heal myself and how my story took me to where I am today. I have been so blessed to be on this crazy joyride called life. And the craziest thing about that statement is, for many years, my life would be called anything but a joyride. And yet, that is the reason why I am where I am today in my life, including speaking on this podcast today. Sometimes when a bad thing happens to you, while it's happening, it seems like the end of the world. But then a short time later, something wonderful happens, and you realize that that bad event is what actually led to this positive event, and one couldn't have happened without the other. And in my lifetime, I began to see this pattern happen over and over. And when I realized that sometimes you have to let go, or you have to go through something that's not so pleasant in order to come out on the other side. I also began to realize that if I just allowed the situation to unfold without trying to manipulate or control the situation, it would play out and end positively. Because, like I said, this scenario kept happening in my life, I stopped making judgments when something would happen. I didn't make it negative or positive. I just learned to trust the process and to anticipate or expect that something good was going to come from the situation. Anything is possible if you have faith and you surrender to the unknown with love. And one of the most recent experiences that I'd like to share with you was when I was working in corporate America. I was at that job for 27 years, and I had survived several mergers and acquisition deals over those years. And a few years ago, we began to hear rumors of the possibility of another merger. And many of my coworkers became very fearful for losing their jobs. And I remained indifferent. And I just felt whatever was going to happen would happen anyway. We have no control over our positions in a corporate environment. If your name comes up on a list that you are being let go, no amount of worry or fear was going to change that fate for you. What would be the point of stressing myself out and worrying if my name was on that list or not? I actually thought that my position was saved because a lot of people had been let go and I was still working. And then the rug was pulled out from under me when I found out that my position wasn't saved after all. It took about 2 weeks to get over the initial shock of that because I had learned that someone who I trusted and liked very much actually had her hand in me losing my job. But after those 2 weeks was up, I learned that it was truly a blessing in disguise because that job was sucking the life out of me because it didn't align with who I am at all. but it was a paycheck, and I was a slave to that paycheck. It wasn't until I stepped away from that job that I realized what a wonderful opportunity I was given to get paid for 14 months while I was working on establishing my health coaching business and starting this podcast. I would have never been able to do either one of those two things if I still had that job. And quite honestly, I'm not making the money I was making when I was working, but the joy and the fun that I am having working with wonderful women from around the world has been beyond my wildest expectations. So there you have it. That's my story. That's one of the many stories that I'm going to share with you. Once you let go and you get into the flow of the universe, fighting against what is like trying to swim upstream. You're not going to get very far before you're physically exhausted and you're no further along in your journey than when you first started. The same with any kind of situation that happens in your life. Sometimes the longer you fight against it, the longer it sticks around. I have found that accepting what is a lot less stressful than trying to change the course of whatever is happening in your life. I know that I'm talking in very general terms right now, and some things will actually happen in your life that will be tragic, and it won't be so easy to accept. But in general, most of the things that happen in your life are not tragic, and you just need to learn to accept what is and let it go. There's a beautiful quote from Sonia Riccati that says, "Surrender to what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be." And I just love that quote. And if you're here listening because you're looking for a way to rejuvenate, that quote can quite possibly be the first step in your journey to healing to rejuvenate. Letting go of judgments, resentment, anger, betrayal, or any other wrongdoing against you is one of the first steps to healing. It will have a profound effect on you both physically and emotionally. My healing programs are holistic, and healing is more than just the food on your plate. When you are deciding to get healthy, I want you to give some thought to what you hold on to and how that serves you. Are your thoughts joyful or are they constantly of worry? Do you relive events of the past or do you anticipate what is yet to come? Those are two things that you can't do anything about, by the way. So it's totally useless to be focusing on the past or the future. Surrender to what is and be hopeful for a bright, positive future. Release the negative vibes that you're walking around with because people feel your energy. And when you're walking around feeling negative, people feel that. And when you're vibrating at a high vibration, people feel that as well. And you will attract more of what you want. And you will be happy and you will surrender and let go. That's the start of healing. That's where everyone needs to start this practice. It's not something that you will do overnight, but in time, you can improve your emotional well-being. And I will be talking more about these tools in upcoming episodes. So please be sure to stay tuned. I want to thank you for spending your time with me today. And I hope, like I mentioned, that it's valuable to you. And I'm so appreciative to you. And if you liked what you heard today, please subscribe to this podcast. And also leave me a review because that truly helps me and it helps to get my message out to more people who can really benefit from this podcast. So please share it with your friends and your family. Let them know about me. Tell them to follow me on Instagram, to follow my journey. I would be so appreciative of that. So until we meet again next time, stay well, be happy, be positive, and bye for now.